It's time to feel the rage. Welcome to a special Calgary International Film Festival edition of the show. Directors and actors beware, as you cannot hide from the rage. My name is Bryson. I'm part of the Film Rage crew, which also includes Jim, who did not show up at all to day 4 of the festival because of his grandkid's first birthday. That is foreign to me. Watch 4 to 5 films at a cinema or spend the day with a 1-year-old grandchild. Did you have any meaningful conversations with him? Was it worth missing an entire day of movies?
He said his first word yesterday.
There you go.
Do you want to know what it was?
So the answer is no.
It's technically he has 2 words. He's bilingual. He can speak Korean because his first word in Korean was wow. And his first word in English was wow.
I thought it was puppy.
Color me unimpressed. Also, we have the Merman, who has been busy bringing entertainment to the masses at the Calgary International Film Festival. How's life in the projection booth?
Stressful.
All right. On a side note, check out our verbal masturbation session with Omar Muallim, the director of the Lebanese Burger Mafia, as we talk about life and burgers and everything in between. Oscar is not only a director, but he is a producer, a writer, an editor, an educator, podcaster. He does speaking engagement, and he's the son of a baron. Oh, and he is also a professional wrestler by the name of Fake News.
Nice.
Learn more about all that and more at the same place you're listening to this current podcast. So with all that being said, it's time to... Oh, by the way, I should mention that the Lebanese Burger Mafia is playing Tuesday, September 26th at 6:45 p.m. So if you missed it in its first showing, you got another shot tomorrow. If you happen to be listening to this on Monday. If you happen to be listening to this on September 26th, go out and get your ticket. It's starting like right now. Go get your ticket. So with the introductions out of the way, let's rage on.
Whoa. Thanks to all who've been supporting us. If you love our independent podcast, please like, subscribe, share, and give us a 5-star rating on your listening platform, or support us and join the Film Rage community by joining our membership at buymeacoffee.com/Film Rage YYC. If you cannot commit to a membership, you can still buy us a movie rental and dare us to see a terrible film, and we will watch it if it played anywhere in the world in a cinema. Now, let's get to talking about an amazing festival, Calgary International Film Festival. This music is just fantastic. I cannot tell you
I feel like I'm at a film gala right now.
how it's just so fantastic. I cannot tell you.
It's cinematic.
It's so fantastic.
Epic.
Yeah. Thanks, Bryce. Thanks so
Hey.
much.
No problem. It's not like I wrote it.
I know. It is just pretty fantastic.
There you go. So we're going to be discussing some of the best stuff that we've seen so far. We are going into only day 5 of the festival. But in the first 4 days, I saw a whole lot of good movies.
You did?
I did.
What?
We'll kick off with the first movie that we watched. We were 1 in, and we already had a Mondo, Jim.
I know, first off, people know that these films that we get, a lot of these films you're not going to get to see anywhere in the world. It's if you don't get to see it at your local festival, these may never show up anywhere in cinemas. So please, if you live in Calgary, please go to SIF's website and start buying some tickets.
Yes.
Which is www.ciffcalgary.ca.
Yes, indeed.
So what did we see first, Bryce?
We saw Fallen Leaves, a romance worth watching that takes place in Germany. Just absolutely spot on. It was
Fallen Leaves takes place in Germany?
It does, doesn't it?
No, I think it's in Finland, is it not?
No, I don't think so.
Really?
I'm 100%. It's a Finland-Germany
co-production. Oh, okay, that took place.
But it took place in Germany.
Wow, here I thought the whole time it was taking place in Finland as I was watching.
Because they were speaking. Remember, every now and then she spoke Finnish.
Yes.
And they're like, "Don't speak the Finnish."
Yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. Now I remember.
Unless I've got it reversed.
No,
but I'm pretty sure I don't. But now you got me doubting myself.
Well, you know what?
Doubt myself.
Whether it's in Finland or it's in Germany, it's still a pretty amazing film. Keep talking.
That's all I got to say. I loved
What?
it.
What? That's all you got to say?
But I think you saw it as well. Did you
I also
think
did
it
see
was
it,
Mondo?
and I also thought it was Mondo. So, the greatest love story that has ever taken place in the dankest and dreary, plus the most depressing town by two of the most boring people, where it has the greatest soundtrack from any movie that has ever been made. The level of depression and dust, and I mean dust dry humor, was taken to only the places that a Finnish German co-production could take us to. This film was so fucking funny,
It was hilarious.
depressing, and fun. I to open the festival with this for us was just, it was like you and I were laughing our asses off through this entire movie.
It was so
At mostly everything that was extremely, especially the music. Like when the music would come on, there's nothing you can say other than the fact that I don't even know did they write this music for this film, because it fit so perfect to it. And I was just like, who makes music like this? It was so depressing at the time, and it was like everything fit so well. This film is so dry, like bone dry, funny.
Yeah.
Funny. If you like that type of humor, you've got to see Fallen Leaves.
Absolutely.
This film is so good.
And you can, Jim. It's playing.
What?
It's got an encore presentation Sunday, October 1st at 6:30 p.m. So
see this film.
go to sifcalgary.ca, get your ticket.
Yep. Agreed. Now, Murr, what do you got? Tell us one that you saw.
What do
Now,
I got?
Murray didn't get to actually see the festival because he's working the cameras.
As Bryce said, am working hard to make sure those movies get on your screen.
That's right.
Because It's not as easy as it sounds.
But on top of that, Murray is also a previewer.
I
So
was a previewer. I saw over 100 films this summer.
and you got to see a lot that actually played the festival, thanks
More-
to you.
More than usual, but yeah. Well, I didn't pick them; just they happened to get picked.
Yeah, you gave him
Some I enjoyed more.
you
than
gave him a
others.
check mark.
I did. Well, I guess we'll start off with, the best of the best that got picked.
All right.
The Madachine family.
Nice.
That's how you say it. This is about a gay couple who basically have a foster child, and their birth mother comes back to reclaim it.
What?
And they go through all kinds of hardship. It's heartwarming and tender and funny. And Emily Hampshire is in it, Canada's own, and who's been in a lot of festival films
Nice.
over the years. And yeah, I gave it a 10 out of 10. Highly recommend it. It's playing tonight and Thursday.
Oh, so there's two chances to see
Two
it.
chances to see it.
Awesome. All right. Well, my number 2 on our Mondo list, which I'm afraid I might be the only one that gave this one a Mondo, is the film Sleep.
You are the only one that gave it a Mondo.
Yes.
I
and-
liked it a lot.
Oh, yeah. I know. So for me, I love this film. It's got no more playing at the festival.
No.
So if you missed it at the festival, then watch for it on
Shudder or
on
something.
everywhere else that it's going to be. A sleep disorder, or is it a ghost? This slow burn Korean film, Ghost Story, has a double dog murder, baby garbage dumps, and drilling your neighbor. And I don't mean sexually, but with an actual drill. The slow build was
He's not kidding.
awesome. And
Operative
and
word,
leave you through the
slow.
movie. on whether this is a ghost movie or a science-based sleep disorder movie. And it has you thinking that through the entire movie until a giant climax in the movie, which also gave me a giant climax. I love this movie. I thought it was great. It's very slow and very suspensefully built. That's why I loved it so much.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right. We had the latest from Hirokazu Korida. The film's name is Monster. It's a coming-of-age film, unlike anything you've seen before. I absolutely adored this, and I know you're going to expand on it a lot more.
But is it playing again? Do you
It
remember?
is, but we usually save that for the end.
All right, to surprise everybody. Okay. Korida goes to a whole new level of family dynamics and character development where he almost out-Koridas himself by Christopher Nolaning himself in a film so layered and complex where everyone is a monster by accident or by way of a decision they make or someone else makes for them. This film will take years to process, like most of his films, but this may be the best film he has ever made. It is absolutely fantastic. If you love Kurita's films, this one is like super Kurita. Like, I don't even know how to explain it other than that. He really does outdo himself. Like, I freaking, everybody who knows me knows, he is my second favorite director of all time. And for me to think this was his best so far, well, I haven't even hard to judge that because he's just so brilliant. And it takes a diversion to his regular style almost. Wouldn't you agree?
I would. It's unlike anything he's made before too.
Yeah.
But it was very, very good.
And there's points of this, like it has some touchings, like very slight and subtle things happen in this movie that, like, because his character development and family dynamics, like nobody in the business does that better than him. It's just so freaking good. Yeah, everybody must see this film. And
they can. So it is playing again Thursday, September 28th at 8 p.m.
All right, Mur.
sifcalgary.ca. Get
Nice.
your tickets.
Mur, what about you? Tell us another one.
Well, tonight we are screening Little Brother, which I guess is the second running. Basically, a guy with drug issues. He tries to kill himself, and his brother picks him up, and they drive across the U.S. And they're dealing with basically their old trauma over the years, and they kind of form a new bond. I thought it was pretty good. Runs tonight.
Nice. All right. So make sure, sifcalgary.ca, people. Teacher's Lounge.
Yes.
Kenneth Branagh needs to watch this film to show what a real mystery is like. One that has nothing solved, anxiety, confusion, and angst among every single person in the film. It's hard to go over everything that this film has in it, but a teacher accuses a school administrator of being the thief that has been previously a topic of concern for the entire school. The people involved and the rumor mill and the kids were all fantastic. The story had this constant build of tension to get us to a climax finale. Yeah, climax again. That was so brilliantly written. This film had so much to think about. And in fact, I am still processing this film. This is the most mondo of all mondos for any film about schools in Germany that I've seen. And I've seen a few. So this is a must-see film. What did you think?
Ditto.
Everything is ditto.
This is the German submission for the Academy Awards this
year
is it?
As well. Okay.
Yeah,
this film...
It was super mondo.
I can't even... Like, you can't explain how every move that this film takes, you kind of... You're kind of taken into this teacher's mind, and some of this could only happen because of where things are at, specifically around, I want to say privacy rules and, you know, the way, I don't want to say woke culture perhaps, but there is some of that sprinkled into here. Mm-hmm. If they just would have done things right at the very beginning, this could have been so differently, but because of little missteps that happen, it creates this giant snowball of tension that just makes this film so freaking incredible. This film is amazing.
It was.
And it is playing Thursday, September 28th at 7:15 at Eau Claire Cinemas, and you can find that at sifcalgary.ca. So if you are in the Calgary area, or if you want to fly to Calgary to see this film from Germany, I would highly suggest you do that. In case it didn't play in Germany yet. So, all right, Mur, what you got?
Another one that runs tomorrow, Riley. It's about a high school athlete who basically is, you know, coming out, having his issues with being gay and trying to hide it. And basically he's, you know, struggling with who he's supposed to be and, you know, what people expect of him. It was good. It was a solid performance by the young actor who was in it.
Nice. All right.
What else did I see? Ooh, let's talk about Doc on the Adamant. It's a doc about a floating psychiatric center in Paris. I don't think I need to say anything more.
Okay. Nothing at all? You want to say nothing about how some of the characters were pretty cool and they had some really interesting vision about certain things that were happening in their little city of Paris?
No, just
Okay.
go see it.
Yeah. This was a Mondo for you, right? Actually,
it was a Mondo.
everything that we're actually, the Bryce and I specifically are talking about, I can't talk for Mur, but everything for us that we bring up is a Mondo.
No, it was a super interesting, shot of it almost seemed like a week.
Yeah,
it was
maybe.
probably shot more than that.
Yeah, it could have been. We don't know the exact time frame for
But
sure.
yeah, I mean, it was so cool. I love this doc. But yeah, it's who knew that there's a floating psychiatric center in Paris?
Yeah, this is one of those films. I didn't love it as much as you do, and that happens. But I think this film is really important to show the humanity of this particular community that lives in Paris, and you get to get some insight into these people's vision about how they're treated sometimes and what their vision is and how that they don't get heard. There's one scene in particular that's kind of near the end of the movie where this one lady wants to make a point that she hasn't been heard, and that, to me, that moment in the film is just so brilliant.
Yeah, it had the perfect start and the perfect ending of like, for a documentary. I was like, wow, you couldn't have started that any better.
Yep.
You jump in right into this guy just singing a song, and it's at the time you're like, what is going on?
Yeah, what is happening right now?
And then it all kind of becomes clear, and then the way they ended it was also just absolutely spot on. I love this documentary. It's so good.
I'm glad I saw it in cinemas for sure.
And it does have another showing, I believe.
What?
Saturday, September 30th at 5 p.m. So once again, go to sifcalgary.ca, get a ticket. It's worth it.
Great. Fly over from Paris, people. All right, Mur, what you got, baby?
Another one, sensing a theme here. Another one about a young gay teenager who is overweight and, of course, confused about his sexuality. And that kind of changes when his female cousin, brings her boyfriend on a camping trip with them.
Oh, this sounds good.
He basically develops feelings for the
Uh-oh.
man. It actually is a decent coming-of-age film. It actually is a brief cameo by one of the Deschanel sisters.
Oh, wow.
That would be the one from Bones.
Oh.
It plays Thursday.
There's a
Deschanel
sister.
Yeah.
There's two of them.
Like Zoe and non-Zoe.
Emily.
Yeah, I know Zoe.
Emily's.
Emily, yeah.
Has Emily been in any movies?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she's been in
She was in
tons.
Spider-Man 2.
Yeah,
Was
there
she?
you go.
Yeah.
Oh.
Perhaps you need to know
She
more
was the
about the
receptionist
sisters.
who wouldn't pay for the pizza because Peter Parker was late.
Yeah, I don't remember
She's been
that
in
at
some
all.
stuff.
Well, then, now you know,
But her
Bryce.
TV show was on for 12 years.
Bryce.
Just saying.
You don't know all the sisters.
I don't know what a Bones is. So.
It's where one of the sisters is in. He just literally
It's
explained
one
that
of the
to you.
206 in your body.
That's exactly. Thanks for that anatomy lesson, Mur. All right, so the next film I want to talk about, which I'm not going to get... Well, you know what? I'm giving a motherfucking spoiler here. This is the best film I've ever seen this year, so that's what I'm going to tell you. It is called 20,000 Species of Bees. And if you love bees as much as I love bees, this movie is for you.
It's not just about bees, though.
You are right. It is not.
I thought it was about bees.
First to know, you would think that, but it has nothing really to do. I mean, it has a lot of things to do with bees. But there are scenes in this movie that there is no way that they should have shot this in 2023. And then there are scenes in this that could only have been shot in 2023. The pacing, although slow in building, you know every single character that they put in this film and every feeling that they have from a family going through acceptance of a trans child developing and discovering who they are as a person. When their brother called them Lucia, and then the mom also started calling Lucia when they went missing. I'm not going to say anything more than that. I started crying, and though I thought I may never stop crying, but I actually did eventually stop crying. I'm just letting you know. this was the most emotional I felt since I saw Flea a couple of years ago. This film allowed me to get inside these characters' heads as a parent and as a weird person that trying to find myself as a child. I got myself trapped inside these characters' minds, and took me on an emotional roller coaster that I will not forget for years to come. This film is so, so brilliant. And at the same time is also shocking at times when you watch some of the things that happen in this film. Did you also think this was Mondo Brace?
I also thought it was Mondo.
Did it help that I was crying through the end of the movie?
That did nothing for me. I just kind of looked and I was like, oh, he's,
Not
he's
him again.
weeping again. It's like, what?
He has a cold heart.
I mean, I was affected, but not like Jim. But yes, everything you said is true. It is an achievement in cinema for sure. I'm not sure this is going to be my best of the festival, but
that's okay.
It is a super Mondo and worth checking out. It's very, very good. It's another great coming of age film from Spain. They kind of do that.
Oh yeah. So this is playing again. If you haven't had a chance to see it, it's playing Saturday, September 30th at 3:15 p.m. This has a lot of topics in here, which will be, I think, something that you may be on either side of the fence if you don't understand trans rights or what's happening in the trans community. But this film really does take you through this journey that I think will help people as they see it. That ultimately, the most important thing about, it's my opinion, obviously I'm not trans, but the most important thing about it is to accept and allow them to be the person that they want to be. So yeah, I better not talk too much about this or I'll start crying again. But this film, if you let yourself get taken into one of these characters, and it doesn't even have to be one in particular, any one of the characters in this, there's so much development and character development in this. If you get trapped in any one of those, you're gonna be in the same state as me. So yeah, I love this film.
Nice.
Mur, what else you got? That's it?
There's one that ran already that I enjoyed more than Bryce did.
Okay, well, let's have it.
Isle of Hope.
I will have no comment on this film.
All right.
We'll see about that. Stars Mary Stuart Masterson.
Sure does.
As a university professor who basically has some issues with her mother, who's a famous actress, who basically spent her whole life crushing her dreams of being a writer. And her mother has a stroke, and then she wakes up in the hospital and apparently has no memory of the last 15 years and thinks everything's fine.
Wow.
Diane Ladd stars as her mother. I've always liked her, and I think Andrew McCarthy.
Andrew McCarthy's in this too?
Is that who it is?
Oh, wow. Matt, like you're talking mannequin, Andrew McCarthy?
Plays the brother.
These two have been in a movie. Were they both in The Pickup Artist?
Were they also in The Mannequin together?
No, they're both in Pretty in Pink, though, weren't they?
I don't know.
Was Andrew McCarthy in Pretty in Pink?
I think he was the one in
He was in one of those two.
And I think that she
Pretty in
was...
Pink's one of your favorite movies, isn't it?
Wasn't she in one
From
with
the
the
80s?
baby?
It's a great movie.
I don't
You
know.
love Pretty in Pink.
I do love
You
Pretty in Pink.
love it when
Anyway,
girls find their
they
true
are
romance date.
80s film stars.
Yeah, it's kind of neat to see they come
Aging.
back to recapture their.
I thought it was a solid
childhood,
performance.
maybe?
It was a good story, but
Nice.
I didn't enjoy it as much as I did.
I have no comment.
He has no
And
comment.
It doesn't run again anyway.
Oh, there you go. So, if you're on Team Murray, hashtag, like you can start tagging for this festival, hashtag Team Murray or hashtag Team Bryce for no comment.
Don't hashtag.
Hashtag Team Merman. There you go.
All right, so we also saw Mr. Dress Up, The Magic of Make-Believe. It's just a documentary about the man that helped educate and entertain millions of kids throughout the years here in Canada. He's kind of the Canadian Fred Rogers. However, he's not Canadian. But he eventually became Canadian. He got his citizenship.
He's not Canadian.
That was actually a great story.
Well, he's now. I mean, I don't know if he's buried in
the
Canada.
documentary. There's like one part where he got a letter from a kid that said that he wrote a report about his favorite Canadian and he picked Mr. Dress Up and he had to write him back saying, "I'm sorry, kid, I'm not Canadian." But then
which caused him to get his
eventually-
Canadian citizenship.
Exactly. Then he's like, "Why aren't I
Did
Canadian?"
the teacher give him an F
No.
for false information?
Yeah, exactly.
But I went in this knowing that for nostalgia's sake I was gonna enjoy it a little bit. There's gonna be stuff in there that I'm gonna. But this was such a well-made documentary. I don't think a documentary about Ernie Coombs, Mr. Dress Up, could have been made any better. This guy had a passion for what he was doing.
Yeah.
And everything that he put on screen was just cool. It was really cool to experience that, especially with an audience that were all in love with the guy. I mean, it's hard not to enjoy it just based on the people around you just enjoying everything so much.
Yeah, this is a film,
but it was really, really good.
It's definitely worth a film worth seeing in cinemas.
I never thought I'd give it a Mondo,
and it's funny.
It's so Mondo.
It's funny how you say that, because if you remember you and me chatting before we went to see this, I'm like, why in the hell did you book this? It's a Amazon production. We are going to get to see this on Amazon if you've got Prime for free in probably a month or two from now. So I was like really, really mad that I was going to see this film, but not because I was worried that it was going to be bad. I know it's going to be good. Like, to your point, a doc about Ernie Coombs is going to be absolutely fantastic. But what actually makes me mad is the fact that I know I'm going to get to see this, and I'll probably actually get to see it in cinemas not side of this.
But not like this.
But not like this. So you know what? I'm sad because the one movie that I would have seen that was playing at the same time as this, which isn't playing any other time, which I may never get to see in cinema, is broken my heart. But what made this movie different, to your point, is when you see a movie like this where the entire amount of people that are here to see this film are there because of their true love and memories of Mr. Dressup and how that made them feel as a child, for the acceptance, to the fact that, they go into grave detail about talking about everybody that was surrounding him that made him such an important person in Canadian history. And that, even Casey and Finnegan, Casey's character being the first non-binary character.
Yes.
I think, they talk about it being in children's television, but I'm pretty sure Casey was the first non-binary person to be in any TV show. So, and they did that intentionally. They had thought. Mr. Dressup was not just a show for kids. It was about allowing them to be accepted. Like, there is, I think, quite a theme to this year's festival, as Murray's kind of already alluded to.
It seems to
that
be
there's very much
leaning more towards the LGBTQ.
Well, and you know what?
It's not just that, though.
It's not just that. It's like acceptance.
It's more about acceptance than anything else.
And with what's going on in the world, I think SIF has done a really good job of bringing films that really talk about what's happening around the world, specifically about this, to allow for acceptance. Like, let's move past all our differences and just get to accepting people. So to your point, I love this doc. Like, when I went into it, I was like, I'm gonna hate this thing so much because I'm so angry that I can't see this other movie. But then you get into this and my heart melted, and I was just like, I'm so glad I'm seeing this with a bunch of people who are like totally boned up for Mr. Dressup. Like, it was just so good.
It's just fun.
Yeah, you should definitely see this. I had other
you can, Jim.
Oh, what?
It's playing one more time this week.
One more time.
At a really good time too. Saturday, September 30th at 12 p.m. Bring the kids.
This is one you can bring your kids to.
There's no swearing in this.
Yeah, there's no swearing. This is like a who's who of Canadian talent who actually is also involved in this. To your point, I don't think anybody could have made a better. And the funniest thing about this, I had a couple of comments I would have made, but ultimately your message is exactly the message that I had. It was in this that actually the funniest thing about this is that Fred Rogers and Ernie Coombs were really good friends.
Yeah.
And for us to have, and they came to Canada together.
Yeah.
And Fred Rogers said, I'm going to take my neighborhood back to the U.S. And Ernie said, no way. I love Canada. Let's do it. And thank God he did.
Sort of how it happened.
The only thing that made me sad about this is we didn't get more about the Friendly Giant. Yeah. Because it is brought in there. So if you're older like me, I actually have more memories of the Friendly Giant because I'm old as fuck. Yeah. But I still remember the transition of Mr. Dressup from when Casey and Finnegan were there. And then I turned it back on, I think, when my kids were younger.
Right.
And I'm like, where the fuck's Casey and Finnegan?
And now you know why.
And now I know why. So I'm sure glad I saw that. Yeah, everybody should see this doc. And if you don't get to see it this weekend, then it's going to come out on Prime, and definitely see it. Awesome.
Excellent.
Got anything
Mer's
else?
done.
That's it? All right. Well, I think you got one more
I do got
than
one
I got,
more.
because you got an entire day
Yes.
Is just one more or is there two more?
No, there's just one more.
All right, let me hear it. I've been looking forward to this.
The movie is called Perfect Days. It's the latest from director Wim Wenders. Who knew following a man who cleans public bathrooms in Tokyo could be so frickin' compelling?
That's the only thing I want to see now.
This soundtrack was amazing with the Smiths, the Animals, Lou Reed,
What?
Van Morrison. It was such a good soundtrack. Like he travels around from place to place, and he's got cassette tapes that he's still.
Is it a doc or is it a drama?
No, it's a drama, and man, is it dramatic. This is going, like, at this point, this is my favorite film of the festival.
Wow.
I absolutely adored every single second of this movie. It is heartbreaking. It is funny. It's everything you want in a film. It really is. And if you get a chance to see Perfect Days, as I say, it might be the perfect movie. I loved this movie.
And was he living a perfect day?
Well, we got to follow him through a few perfect days.
Oh, nice.
And we got a few different versions of
his perfect days.
Of Perfect Day by Lou Reed, which is also good.
Yeah.
So
Such a perfect day.
got a nice piano version in the closing credits, which was really nice. It is playing again.
What?
Yes, so you can still see this, in my opinion, perhaps perfect movie. Perfect Days, Sunday, October 1st at 2:30 p.m. Get your tickets at sifcalgary.ca.
Do we need to say that? just a few
Or
more
at the Eau
times?
Claire box office. This one you'll probably be able to walk up and buy a
Just
ticket.
show up.
Yeah, it's funny because by Sunday there's, except maybe the closing gala type things, there's usually a lot of empty space in the cinemas because
Stuff is run more than twice.
Stuff's on
Yeah.
more than, and you've also got, the people that have been going hardcore like me and Jim are just wiped out by Sunday. And
I know.
we're doing, between 3 to 5 movies a day. Then all of a sudden we're like
One.
one.
Yeah.
So, you'll be able to walk up and get a ticket to a lot of this stuff on Sunday. And a lot of these are, I noticed, kind of playing Saturday,
Maybe
Sunday.
the Mr. Dress Up might want to get your tickets in advance.
That's true.
Yeah, that one's probably going to sell out because it's funny. Also, they've added a couple of ones like Fallen Leaves. I think was one they added the screening to it. So
yeah, there's like 3 of them.
and I think it's because of the feedback of the films. But you know what?
Probably.
One thing I want to say so far in this festival, like lots of times we'll go to the film festivals and it's like there'll be a few movies that are just kind of these are not the greatest. I don't know how this made it into the festival, but so far this festival has been freaking amazing. Like there hasn't been a lot or anything that's been sort of you weren't there on Sunday. That's true. I was not. But for the most part, there's so much good in this.
There was. And I saw 2 amazing films on Sunday, so it's
two
all
that
good.
weren't.
And 2 that weren't.
Weren't as amazing. Okay, gotcha.
It happens.
Nice. Yeah, well, this is, I guess, a point I would probably try and make is that, people go to films.
Having said that, I walked out and there were some little old ladies in the movie that I didn't enjoy that I noticed were giving it 5 out of 5.
There you go. Well, that was funny because that's the
everybody's
point.
got their opinion of what makes a good movie for them, and not everybody's the same.
Yeah, that point is exactly what I was going to make, which is kind of like everybody's got a reason why they want to go to the cinemas, right? I think speaking for me, I want to go there to be transformed, not necessarily entertained. If I'm transformed, then I feel I have been entertained. I don't know about you. What's the thing that drives you to go to the cinemas?
That's the whole thing. I want to see something on the screen that perhaps that I've never seen before. Sometimes if it's just unique and I've never seen it before, that can take it a long way.
Mm-hmm.
It really can.
Oh yeah.
And as you say, if it evokes emotion out of me, which is hard to get out of me sometimes.
Oh yeah, you're just
then the filmmaker's
void.
Done a tremendous job.
Yeah, that's a real test for you.
It is.
What about
but
you,
if I'm
Mer?
sitting there blank faced, then why am I here?
Yeah. What about you, Mer?
I just
Why
wanna
do you
be-
go to the
I want
cinemas?
to be entertained.
Yeah.
I want to lose myself because real life.
It's not the greatest
sucks
for
a
the
lot of
Mer
the
sometimes.
time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to forget about everything going on in my life and just be taken away. And
Yeah.
some movies. If I have like a tear at the end of it, then yeah, they've done their job.
Yeah. You know what? So that's just it. What is it that's driving you to cinemas? And that's what's so great when you have a festival like this that has 6, 7, or 8 cinema like screenings at one time. There's so much choice for you. So yeah,
There's something there for everyone.
People, go and visit this festival. Go and visit your local festival. If you're listening to us from around the world, find out when your local film festival is playing, and please just go put butts in seats. These things need to keep going. And a big thing for us is this is playing at a cinema that we have 6 cinemas in, and it's closing from downtown Calgary. So
last year.
we don't even know what's going to happen next year for this festival. We know it's going to continue, but it's not going to be the same feel, I think, for us. So yeah, that's it for us so far. So, well, thanks to the Calgary International Film Festival, or CIF Calgary, for allowing us to work with them as part of the media team for the festival. Find us on social media everywhere at Film Rage YYC. Check out everything Film Rage at filmrageyyc.com, including our merch site for Redbubble and TeePublic. Send us emails to filmragecalgary@gmail.com. Listen in Sunday for our final recap of our part 2 of the best films of the festival. And whatever you do, please check out everything on the CIF Calgary website for all the great films playing at this amazing festival, which basically should be your tick sheet of the films you want to see for this coming year, and that can be found at cifcalgary.ca. Thanks, Ragers, for listening. We will be back to a sort of regular episode this Wednesday. Now, get out there and see a film in cinemas, and don't forget, rage on.
Rage on.